Timing begins the second that I hit select on overwrite save. In 3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to Bendy and the Ink Machine. This game was created by Joey Drew Studios and Rooster Teeth. I'm playing on the Xbox. This can also be played on the Switch, the PS4, and the iOS and PC. Because I'm playing on the Xbox, the loading times are a little bit slower. I'm sorry about that. I am going to be showing you the way through Bendy and the Ink Machine as quick as possible. So this very first chapter, there isn't really anything to show off, no glitches or anything. There's a small audio glitch that we can make happen, and I'll be doing that right away. So if you've played this game before, you will know that there's a banner that usually shows up on the bottom to tell us where to go. Well, I know where to go, and it lags the Xbox, so I just made it so it doesn't show up. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to put those dry cells in and then pull the lever. And then I'm going to go over here and do a little bit of a jump in the corner. And then open up this door. We're going to be doing using this door later, so that's why we open it up. So now we have to wait for that to open all the way. And we're going to walk through. Go over here, and we're going to activate the audio glitch. We're going to go into this door here, get the dialogue, and then turn right back around. Doing that allows for the trigger for the first mission to happen, and that mission is to collect 6 different items. Those 6 items are a wrench, a Bendy doll, ink, a record, a book, and a gear. So all these items will always be in the same spot, so we know exactly where we need to go to collect them. So we've already collected the wrench, and then here's the Bendy doll that we need to pick up. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to be going to the hallway that we originally started off in, because that's where we're going to be collecting the last 4 items. So we're going to be opening up that door because we're going to be collecting the record out of there after we're done collecting this next item, which is the ink. We're going to take one more turn up here, and to save half of a second, we're going to jump over that.
Guess it took a few people to replace me.
Now we're going to go back to that door that we just opened and grab the record up. Now the record has a little bit of a fidgety way of grabbing it, but if you're standing in the right angle and looking at it correctly, then you should grab it like that. And now we're going to go down the stairs. Unfortunately, we can't grab this book ahead of time, because we have to grab it up when the mission is active. So we're going to jump up the stairs. It does absolutely nothing to speed it up, I don't believe. But I just like to do it because it's a lot less boring than just walking upstairs normally. So now that we have all 6 of the items, we're going to go back into the room that we went into to activate the... trigger the mission in the first place. So we can just there's no menuing or anything to set these items down. You can just spam the place button here, and it'll set them all down. And as you'll see, this cardboard cutout showed up. That cardboard cutout was originally supposed to show up when we first went into that room. However, we exited early, and that dialogue box shows up later than it's supposed to. It's a really easy glitch, and I just find it super funny. So it just happens to be my favorite glitch. So right here, we went back into the room where we got the Bendy doll, and we're activating the ink. Next up, we're going to go back to where we placed all those items on the pedestal, and we are going to pull the lever. And once we pull the lever, we're going to head back to where we got all those dry cells, and we should be done with this chapter. So go right around this corner. Wait, did I do something wrong? So, I forgot to mention ahead of time here that there are jump scares in this game. I'm not going to warn anybody ahead of time that they're coming up. If this is chosen, I'm going to let them happen. So right here, I'm going to look up because since this is on the Xbox, you can see there's major lag. And Henry, the main protagonist of this game, has to look up anyway when he's falling. So if I look up right away, it will reduce the lag in the game. So right here, we have to hit that, and we can't move any forward because we're going so far forward. We're going to get as close as we can to the ink, and then we're going to jump, but unfortunately I went too far. And now we're going to get a small speed boost right there. You saw me just jump forward a little bit. There's a little, there is a, underneath the ink, there's a board that if you hit correctly, it gives you a little tiny boost. So right here is our weapon for the game. We're going to be just destroying the boards that are necessary to get to the next area. So there we go. So now we're going into Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is where all of the, hello Dime. This is where all of the RNG comes into play. There's 2 areas, one for the keys and one for what instruments you're going to be playing. I'll tell you what's happening when I get to them. So the last that we saw, Henry, he was falling down because we heard somebody had hit him or something had hit him. And now all of a sudden we're laying on the ground and our axe is sitting in front of us. I wonder how that happened.
What happened?
So we're gonna run forward, we're gonna grab that, we're gonna break the board on the bottom, we're gonna jump up and get the swag board hit, then we're hitting that for no reason and grabbing all those. Hitting those, doing those last 3 things do absolutely nothing for you, it's just fun to do. Alright.
Hello. Excuse me, can you help me?
So what we're going to do here is we're going to go and we're going to go past that little wall there to activate the dialogue box, and we have to go get 3 switches. And the first 2, there's 3 of them in total. The first 2 we're going to go over this way, and we are going to activate those first because the 3rd one is right next to where we have to be in the end anyway. So here's our first 2. And then we're going to go over here. And we're going to get our 3rd one right over here. Oh, there we go. And then... So, those items that we're picking up are called bacon soup. Those bacon soup are actually our health. If we're low on health, we can take one of those bacon soups and we'll heal up. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to run in here, grab a dialogue box, and hit the switch. This switch will activate the next area of the level, which is to fight our first enemy. And these enemies are called the Searchers. These will always spawn in the same spots, so if you know where you're going, you'll be able to fight them every time in the same order. That was really good. So now we're coming up onto our first area of the game where the RNG comes into play. We're going to be going up and we're going to be doing this audio box right here, which then activates the keys to spawn. There's 6 spots where these keys can spawn, and we're hoping for early spots in here. Okay, that's 3 spots that it's not. One more spot up here. Okay, good. There we go. So we got the keys. That was the 2nd worst spot that they could be in. The absolute worst spot is in the music room. And speaking of music room, we're going to be listening to this dialogue box right here. Drum, banjo, bass, banjo. 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 drum, banjo, bass, banjo, drum, banjo, bass, banjo, drum, banjo,
I know
bass,
there's something I've got to do
drum,
in here.
banjo, bass,
I feel
banjo,
like I'm missing
drum,
something.
banjo, bass, banjo, drum, banjo, bass, banjo. There we go. So what we did there is that can be in a random order each time that you play. That is in a random order each time that you do it. As long as you don't get the piano, any order is pretty good.
One down.
Alright, so now we have more searchers that we have to go after. Okay, I didn't even hit him. I don't know why I did that, but okay. Alrighty. So we cannot enter into that door without destroying all of the searchers in that room. So now we run down here, and we notice that the valve is missing. So we hit the lever, and we run down into the basement here. And when we run down into the basement and we turn to the left, we see a searcher in a fancy hat. But the problem with this searcher in a fancy hat is he has our valve. So how are we going to get it, you say? Because every time we run close, he runs away from us. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop something on him. And how we're going to do that is we're going to first raise up the platform here, wait a couple seconds, run towards him, activate him to go. We're going to run over here, which then causes him to spawn over there. Then we're going to run towards him again, and he should be spawning underneath, and we're going to drop that on him.
Sorry I had to do that.
Now that he's gone, we have the valve. We're going to go back up, and we're going to turn that valve and then hit a lever to go down the stairs and leave. Hit that, because we can, and get out of here. So here's where we have to turn in the valve.
Okay, that should do it.
And we couldn't go into this area before because there was ink that was blocking this doorway. So now we just go around the corner over here and we can exit and go down the stairs. Did I forget to mention something here? This is Sammy. This is who hit us over the head at the end of Chapter 1. So Sammy now has us.
There we go now, nice.
And we cannot do anything but look around in this area. So this is a perfect time for donations to be read.
I must admit, I am honored you came all the way down here to visit me. It almost makes what I'm about to do seem cruel. But the believers must honor their savior. I must have him notice me. Wait, you look familiar to me. That face. Not now.
Get your face out of my face, Sammy.
Calling to us, my little sheep. The time of sacrifice is at hand. And then I will finally be freed from this
Prison. This inky, dark abyss I call a body. Quiet. Listen. I can hear him crawling above. Crawling.
Let us begin.
So when Sammy leaves here, he's going to go through those doors, and he says one of the best lines in the entire game.
He will set us free.
Sheep, 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 it's time for sleep. Rest your head, it's time for bed. In the morning, you may wake, or in the morning, you'll be dead. I love that line. So, as you can see, that hallway is opening up over there. We're going to run forward and we're going to grab our axe, and we're going to just completely sprint past the searchers that are going to be spawning here. And we're going to just be destroying the boards that are necessary for us to go through, like this one. Then we have to hit that one up there and that one down there. Then that one and that one. And then we are going to run this way and activate Bendy and run away from him. So after going through this entire game here, or the entire chapter, we've met one new character already, but we have one more that's going to be joining us here in just a second. Do you want to know who it is? I do too. So right here, we're going to go here, and we're going to see who we're going to get.
Hello? Someone there? I know you're in here. Come out and show yourself.
It's Goofy! So, in this game, he's called...
Boris?
So, as you can see, this game is kind of a, abandoned by Disney sort of, game. Boris is kind of a take on, Goofy, and, if you look down in the bottom, the save symbol is kind of a take on Mickey Mouse. Even though it's not Disney, Betty Boop is kind of a one of the characters coming up is kind of a take on Betty Boop. Her name is Alice. You will see her. And so this is just like an abandoned cartoons sort of horror game that we're in. So this chapter is kind of interesting. This is where it comes into play, where we say that the game has officially started at this point. In the community, that's what we like to say, because we go through the first 2.5 chapters of the game, and there's absolutely really nothing exciting that happens, just collecting stuff and hitting switches. Well, in here, this is where we get all of our glitches out halfway through this level, and we get some really big glitches that happen, and the fun begins. So what we're first going to do in this chapter is we're going to go over here, and we're going to activate the dialogue box and run all the way over here for the bacon soup.
Boris probably has it. Hey, buddy.
Then we're gonna grab our second one right there.
Are you holding it hostage until I make you something to eat? I thought so. Let's see what we got.
Then we're gonna grab our third one right over here,
That should be
and
enough.
then take it, and we're going to cook it and make Boris soup. Now I wonder what Boris soup tastes like.
Here you go.
It probably tastes like ink, like everything else in this place does.
See what's out there. Don't wander off.
So this next area you'll see is really dark, and we actually cannot go past that area. So in order to do that, we have to grab this light to go through.
Looks like
But
it's really
Boris
dark
also
ahead.
wants to follow us and help us out, so we're going to grab the light and we're going to go through here. And we're going to turn around because we need to have the light on Boris, because if we're too far away from him or too far ahead of him, he's actually going to get scared and not move. But standing where I did right there allows for him to go in front of me, so I'm not too far ahead of him or I'm not too far behind him. This is kind of a mini auto-scroller section right here, and Boris will not stop except for one section. Did you hear that?
Did you hear that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
me either.
Me either.
So now we are almost done with this little dark walking section right here. And we're going to have Boris go, and he's going to help us out by going through the vents because we're at a dead end.
Way through. You got any ideas, Boris?
So we're going to give him the light, and he's going to go into the vents. While he's climbing through the vents and trying to get through to help us out, this would be another good time for donations to be read. Alright. So now we're going to go through here, and we're going to go to the right here, and instead of going down the center, we're actually just going to go straight right here and save minimal time by jumping over the railing instead. Then we're going to jump up here, and we are going to activate a dialog box right there and turn back around and go and hit this lever right here. So now this is where our first RNG comes into play, or our next set of RNG comes into play in this chapter. In each one of these conveyor belts, we could have 1 or 2 toys. So far, so good. We had 2 toys in the last one only, that's fine. And then we only have 1 bookshelf that we have to move out of the way, which is really good. So now we're going to go up to the very front up here, and we are going to listen to the beautiful music of Alice Angel. Alright, so the reason that I moved forward there when I walked to that room is 1, to scare people by standing up really close, and 2, when it turns dark here, it actually just moves you to the front anyway, right where I'm standing anyways, so it doesn't save or lose any time just by going up to the front. So we're going to listen for the line for her to say angels, then we're going to try and turn around and go down a hallway before the darkness even goes away. Nope, okay. We're fine. We still went fast enough though. So down this hallway here, we're going to see the demon and the angel. We're going to go down the angel side because it's just a tad bit quicker, and we get Bendy less throughout us running around here. So we just have this one big hallway. And then we are going to meet back up with Mr. Boris here.
Scared me to death.
So the funny thing about this right here is Boris has found something for us to help us out, but he doesn't have the time to even try and hand it to us. We just steal it right out of his hands.
Looks like to open this,
so we have to pull 2 levers at once. I'm going to go to my 1 lever, which is right over here. Oh, did I forgot to mention, this is Piper. He's one of 3 of the Butcher Gang. We have to hit him 6 times. And then we have to hit this lever behind him. Now, the other... there's 3 people to the Butcher Gang. That was Piper. There's... who just has a wrench in his hand. There's Fisher, who has his head on a string. And then we have Stryker, who has something attached to his hand that he hits you with. So I'm going to be standing over here in the corner waiting for Boris. For one purpose is because Boris always goes into that corner of the elevator at all times throughout almost this entire chapter. So we're going to wait for him to go into there, so I'm not blocking him from getting over that way, and then I go up behind him so I'm not standing next to the wall so the doors can actually close. We start on level K here, and we have to go down to 9. So, this is the slowest elevator ride in the entire game. So, this is a place that could have donations read, for sure. This is our stop. So we're going to jump up here and wait for the doors to open. They open from left to right. Whole twisted world out there. So we have to wait for Boris. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump up here, and I'm going to make a pretty picture for everybody. Now that my picture's done, Boris is here. We have a smiley face, and we can just run through. So we're just going to hit Boris because we can. We run just as fast as he does. And as you see, there's a lot of Borises and a lot of the Butcher Gang just laying around here. We'll listen to Alice here. Alright, so this next section right here with Alice and
Now we come to the question.
and him,
Do I kill you? Tear you apart
we will
with
now
right.
this area is a very long talking section. So before I say you can read donations, I just want to point this out. You can jump through this and still hit the wall, because if you step back away from it, you can notice that the ink actually isn't attached to the wall. It's kind of funny.
Do you know what it's like living in the dark puddles?
It's a buzzing, screaming well of voices.
Bits of your mind swimming like fish in a bowl.
First time I swore its pinky wound was a wiggling, pussing, shapeless slug. The second time, well,
It made me an angel.
I will not let the demon touch me again. I'm so close now. So almost perfect.
Yes,
yes,
I will
will
spare you for now. Better yet,
I'll even let you ascend and leave this place. If you will do a few eensy-weensy little favors for me first. Return to the lift, my little errand boy. We have work to do.
alright, so as you heard from Alice there, she will exchange my freedom to get out of here and ascend back to the real world if we do just a couple of errands for her. So right now we're heading to the first area to get our first errand, and that first area is actually those stairs where I made the first smiley face for us. And as you'll notice, I'm just jumping on these boards. I jumped there and back. It always seems like I go too slow when I just run on those boards, so I jump across them, and even if it doesn't save any time, it's a lot less boring than just running through them normally. So we're gonna run down the stairs a little bit, activate that, then turn back around. It's gonna lag like it always does, and then we're gonna grab this wrench, and we're going to do our first quit reset here for a couple of reasons. This will cause Boris to start on this level with us, so all we have to do is run up to the stairs and jump onto the elevator and go up and complete the first task. The second reason is it seems like if you don't do this, it kind of soft locks the game and you're not allowed to continue unless you reset it. So that's why. So this is where another donation could be read. So the first task that Alice has us do here is she has us go and collect 3 gears. Those gears will always be in the same spot. One is defended and kept with Piper. The other 2 are in vents, and those 2 vents that they're located in are always in the same spot. So we're going to just hit Boris because we can. And as you can see, the elevator is going a lot faster. So let's see if Piper is waiting for us up at the top of the stairs. He is not, unfortunately. Sometimes Piper can be waiting up at the top of those stairs for us, and we can just go up to him and get the first gear right away. So I hear him in here. Where is Piper?
One down.
There you are. Okay, so I went fast enough. I'm hoping that Boris will be waiting for us. If not, that's fine. That's just some of the RNG that we have to wait for. And Boris did not wait for us, unfortunately. But that's not that big of a deal. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be activating the elevator. And you see this little station right here called the Little Miracle Station. Normally what you're going to be doing is you would go into these to hide from Bendy when he spawns so he can run past you. However, we're going to be using these to our advantage. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be sending the elevator back down to the floor that we need it to be at, which is floor 9. But when we do that, we're not actually going to be in the elevator. We're actually going to go into the Little Miracle Station, look to the right here, then we're going to run forward. When I run forward, we're going to fall down all the way here, and we're going to go through here, and we're actually down on the floor before Boris even gets here. Now, if we're lucky enough, cool, this searcher spawned. We're going to take him all the way up here with us. We need him to come up here, and he's going to hit us 5 times. 4, 5. Now I turned that item in, and what this does, it kills me at the same time as I'm turning in the item, so that activates the next errand for us to do, but we don't have to wait for the cutscene for us to wait for the next item and for the gate to open back up. Instead, we'll just spawn up top, and we're able to run to the elevator and enter in before she even finishes her sentence. So we're going up to the next area here, and this next area we like to call Thick Ink with 2 C's, just because we can. And we're going to do a little bit of Boris manipulation up here if it's done correctly. So it sounded like he was in here. So he was in there, but unfortunately, he did disappear because he saw me. So we're gonna hit Fisher here 4 times. Then we're gonna. Oh, that wasn't good. Whatever. So hopefully this will bring other people all the way up here. So now Fisher is right here. We're going to hit him one more time. 2. Okay. So now we have to wait. Oh, that's pretty good. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to hit that, and we're going to grab the 2 inks. Oh, that was a little bit too fast. That made Boris run away.
Back my equipment.
So while we wait for Boris to come back down here, we're going to send him back down. We're going to hit this and squeak these 2 Bendy dolls. While we wait. So what we have to do here is we have to do another out of bounds trick, but we have to do it right, because if we accidentally do this, if we do this wrong, we can actually soft lock the game. So we're going to, once again, send it down to the floor that we need to, and we're going to run all the way over to this Little Miracle Station, exit out, look to the left this time, and fall down. Then we're going to go over here and go back inbounds. 1, 2, 3. So what I did there is I turned in the next errand, that last errand that we did, and counted to 3 and grabbed the item, which caused us to open the open it back up. Sorry, open the gate back up without having to wait. So now we're going up here, and we're going to be grabbing 3 valves, and this is where really heavy RNG comes into play. We're going to see if we can do the Boris manipulation here. So we're going to wait for that gate to close, and then we're going to hit it again, open that back up, and hopefully Boris will be waiting there when we get back. So in order to get the valves, Striker is going to be carrying one of them for us. And the other two are in these valves over here to the left and right. And so this can be random each time. It needs to line up the ink with the dots that are on the place right here. So that was one of them. Now we have to run over to the other side and grab one more. Alrighty. So we already have the middle done, so we just have to be careful not to accidentally hit it. So that second one was actually really good. So now that we were fast enough, we're hoping that Boris is just waiting for us up here. And he is not, unfortunately. So we're going to just do that. And wait for Boris. Here's a bacon soup that we can eat while we wait. Alright, Boris, you were still pretty good to me. So now, this is one of the only floors that one of the only tasks that we are not going to be going out of bounds for.
Feels like so long ago. But those days can come back.
Dreams come true, Susie. Dreams come true. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be turning in this this syringe. And when I do, I'm going to run back over, and as you can see, there's the plunger over to the left. I'm going to go, and I'm going to turn this in, grab the plunger, and I'm going to reset the game right here, because what this does is it sets the game back to where we have to grab the ink valves once again. So when I reset it like this, I'm able to turn in the plunger, and the game then thinks that we are past getting those ink valves once again, and we're able to then in turn go and go on to the next errand. While this is loading, this is another time that can have a donation read. Alright, so here we go. I'm gonna look to the right here. I'm going to turn this in. You see, now we're on to the next errand.
Let's remove them, shall we? I've got just the tool to make this even more enjoyable.
So now we're gonna go up here, and this axe has a special special attribute to it, in which it's one of the only weapons in the game that's able to destroy the boards that are on this door. So we're going to destroy both of these boards and open it up, because we're going to be using that later on. So now we're going to go back up to floor K. And what we have to do here is we have to destroy 15 Bendy cutouts. These 15 Bendy cutouts are always in the same spot. The problem is that when we destroy these cutouts, Bendy does not like us destroying these. So we have to watch out for him after we are done doing it. But we have a little death warp that we do here. When we turn around the corner here, you'll see that there's a Bendy statue there, and those Bendy statues are actually our respawn point if we die. that's the only one that is on this floor. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the last cutout, and then we're going to die, which is then going to warp us back to here, so we don't have to take this long walk. As you can see, it's a very long walk to get all these cardboard cutouts, and if we didn't die, we would have to walk all the way back this way again. So, we are almost done here. I'm hoping that we can get one to spawn right here, a searcher. Nope. I have one more chance for at least one searcher to spawn down here. Cool, we're good. If that wouldn't have happened, it would have been a massive time loss for us to have to walk all the way back. I got two also, so a second one that also spawned in. Alright, so now I have these two guys. They're going to help me teleport back to our last respawn point. So, as I was saying before, we're just going to get out of the tunnel here, and we're going to turn around. And we are now right next to the elevator. And once again, now that we've done this, we're actually able to do our glitch again. We're gonna get Boris over here. And we're going to be doing our out of bounds one more time. Here we go. Go in, go out, look to the right, then run forward. And now we are done. So the reason that we opened up that door and got all of those boards cut off is that once we turn this axe in, Alice wants us to now destroy these searchers, as well as the 3 members of the Butcher Gang. So, when we opened this, unlocked this, we were actually unlocking a whole other axe. So I'm going to stand up here for safety purposes. So here's the Butcher Gang that we have to destroy. One more with Fisher here, and we are done with the fight.
So quiet, like a welcoming grave.
Alright,
I like
so now what we're going to do is we're going to go up here, and we have one more errand that we have to do for Alice, and she wants us to go and get 3 or 5 ink carts down in the basement of floor 14. But the problem is, we have somebody chasing us. His name is the Projectionist. However, we have an out of bounds that we can take in order to despawn him. But first, she wants to send us a little gift to try and stop him. But the unfortunate part about that little gift is, in order to be able to use it, you can't die. We've died multiple times here, so we have to just wait for her to hand it to us, and it disappear for us to continue on. So, to do this out of bounds, what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be going up to floor P. We're supposed to be going down to floor 14, but we're going to go into P. Then we're going to go and send it down to floor 14, like we would if we were going down to our main floor here. We're going to send it down to floor 14 and then go into this little miracle station. And once again, we're going to go in, exit out, and then we're going to drop down. And we're going to go over to where we would normally have to fight the Projectionist. But if we drop down here, the projectionist is despawned completely, so now we can safely run around and not have to worry about that. So, there are 4 ink carts that are located inside of this maze here. And it's random where they spawn, but we always hope for them to be at the very beginning of the maze so we can just backtrack and get out of here. That's 2. But unfortunately I did not get it. This is 3. And 4. So actually, it wasn't too bad. I can still kind of backtrack to get out of here. So if I would have went either way, it would have been about the same. Alright, so we have 4 of the hearts right now, and now we're gonna get, I'm gonna make sure I have 4, yep, okay. Now, we're gonna grab the 5th one, but when we grab the 5th one, something interesting is gonna happen. A dialogue is going to activate, and that dialogue that activates is actually the dialogue for the projectionist to spawn. So you can't see it on the Xbox, you can on the PC. What's happening right now is the projectionist is freaking out because we've collected hearts and he's supposed to be finding us. But since he can't find us, he's just running around like a madman trying to find us. So now we are going up to the to our regular floor here, and we are going to go turn these in. And that was our last errand. So now Alice is going to let us ascend and get out of here.
End of my to-do list, my little errand boy. I hope you enjoyed our time together.
So there we go. I'm not going to hit the button to open up the doors, and I'm going to wait until these open completely, because if I wait any sooner to enter in, it will actually soft lock the game. Alright. So I stand in this corner right here because it actually makes the cutscene afterwards have a weird angle on it. So this is just a lot of dialogue that's happening right here. This is a good place for donations to also be read. Hey look, Bendy. So now we're just gonna drop here, and it's gonna finish up the rest of the level. Bring me back my Boris! He's the most perfect Boris I've ever seen, and I want it. I need it. Once you're dead. So standing up in this corner up here, this is what activates a little bit of an interesting cutscene. Normally, you're going to be seeing Boris's face at this point, but instead we see his lower body. Alright. So now that we're done with Chapter 3, we're heading into Chapter 4, and our whole purpose for this next chapter is for us to try and find our poor Boris. We don't know what happened to Boris, so we are going to go find him. there can be a donation read right here.
All right, Joey. I'm here. Let's see if we can find what you wanted me to see.
Alright, so this chapter, we're going to be finding the most powerful weapon in the entire game. I will explain that the second that we get there. So I have to walk over to the left, make sure we get that dialogue box, and notice that a valve is gone. That valve happens to be over here. If we were to go over here beforehand, that door would actually be locked and you wouldn't be able to enter. Alrighty. So we're going to go through here, and the next thing that we have to do is we have to go and we have to get the books. You can get these 5 books in any order that you want, but the order that we're going to hit them in will actually be right next to the door. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And 5. So as you can see, we are right next to the door and we can just enter right in. What we have to do up here is we are going to see for the first time one of the ink machines. What we have to do is we have to turn that and activate the lever. Since the lever doesn't work, we have to find a way to fix it. What we did with the ink machine is we turned it so it would become a gear, and that gear is gonna allow, in order to make that gear spawn, is we have to get ink and put it in the ink machine and then turn the lever. So we took this guy's backwart, I guess you could call it, and we are going to put it in the machine, pull the lever, and it's going to then in turn give us a gear. We're going to turn around, put it in that, and hit the lever so we can get our trolley to cross. Now this is a very slow area, so you could probably read another a couple of donations here. There's absolutely nothing that happens. We're just going to cross. So for some reason this stops. It was originally supposed to be scary. I don't know why. It didn't scare me the first time I played this game, and I don't understand what it's supposed to be doing. Just that it's about to fall, I guess, but I don't understand it for some reason. So now we're gonna go through this over here and head down this hallway. Nothing odd about this hallway. Absolutely nothing odd about this hallway whatsoever. So we're gonna continue on this way. And we're gonna go up these stairs.
My little errand boy. Your angel is always watching. What is it that keeps you
What is it that keeps me going, Alice?
Is it the thrill of the
No.
hunt? The thirst for your
No.
Or perhaps you're just looking for a little friend.
Boris! My buddy Boris! Bring him back to me.
Better hurry, errand
No,
boy.
you leave Boris alone.
Boris is having trouble staying in one
So we're just gonna jump around this way. It just saves, like, not that much time at all. And inside of here, you can't go any faster, and there's only one pathway to actually get you out of these vents, so I'm just gonna relax my finger for a minute here. And we're gonna look this way. Alrighty. So I looked to the left because it's another very laggy area for the Xbox, and if I look to the left, it actually reduces the lag. Alrighty. We're going to be going this way. And we're finally going to get out of these vents. Now, up here, we're just going to do a swag strat. I always like to say that it saves, like, a second. But it actually doesn't save anything. I just like to do it. So we're going to go up these stairs. And here comes our strat. You ready for this? You see that chair that's tilted in? We're going to jump over it. And then we're going to re-jump over it. And there's chair skip. So now we're going to go back down this way, and once again, we're going to do another chair jump. We're going to jump down here, jump over the chair, and what do you know? So when we turn around this corner, we are now in a little carnival. We're going to run over this way, and we're going to turn and look at the breaker system over that way, and turn right back around and get over to the bottle wallet.
I'm coming.
We're going to grab these, and we have to knock down 2 sets of these cans. There we go. We knocked down all 3, and now over here, we have Bullseye Bonanza. We don't have to hit down all the targets. You actually have to just hit about halfway. Alrighty. So we got that halfway target mark, and actually a little bit more. We're going to hit our first switch and head back over to the breaker. We have to hit about 4 of these switches, and then hit the final switch in order to get to our big boss. So our first breaker here, we're going to hit the first switch on the breaker, and we're going to go over this way. In here, we are going to run into the Butcher Gang.
Looks like I've got some company.
What you normally have to do is you have to go into here and you have to distract them with cans. However, you can just run past them and you can distract them enough and get to the switch without having to worry about the cans.
That's 2.
Whew. That was close. So now, not only do we have to do that once, but we have to do it twice. Ah, that's unfortunate. That's fine though, we got both switches and the breaker that we needed, so we're going to head out of here. And we are actually gonna do our second save. We're gonna do our third save quit or quit reset of the run, because we are at this point we are going to get our most powerful weapon in the game. And you would think that that might be like a gun or something else, but in fact the strongest weapon in the game happens to be the cans that we were supposed to be using to distract the Butcher Gang down there on the bottom. Now you're thinking, how is that even possible? Well, it's possible. To be honest, I don't know how it's possible. It's able to destroy the arms of one of the boss very easily, and we're going to be using it for that sole purpose. We're actually going to be using it against both the mini-boss, which is coming up next, and the main boss of this chapter. So we're going to go back in here, and the reason we save reset is because if we didn't, we wouldn't be able to grab these cans. So now we're going to go over here, and we are going to go into our mini-boss of the level, and his name is Bertram. Bertram is a character, that's for sure. So the first thing we're going to do when we go into here is we're going to listen to Bertram talk through this before he shows himself to the world. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get hit. Get hurt. There we go.
Makes my eyes come to tears at the thought. Then, oh, Mr. Drew, for all your talk of dreams, you are the true architect behind
So as you can see, the cans are very, 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 very strong.
My masterpiece.
You're able to destroy bolts off of Bertram's arm there. What I was trying to do, I unfortunately messed it up. What I was trying to do is you could actually destroy the arm, one of the arms early off of Bertram before we even get to the first stage. There is our friend Bertram. I'm gonna grab that. That's one. That was very quick. I unfortunately wasn't able to go fast enough to... That's unfortunate. We have one side for every single arm here. So here's one arm done, the second arm done. Ah, that sucks. Alrighty, so that's a third arm down, and finally we have to get down this last arm. So sorry I've been very quiet here, this is a very intense fight, a lot of focus. And there's the fourth arm down. That was actually a really good Bertram fight with messing up the arm. So now our next switch is through here. We're gonna hit that switch and turn back around, get out of here. So after this Bertram fight, we are now going to go and we are going to enter or hit the breaker, and we're gonna go grab the cans once again, because now we don't have to reset it. We're actually able to grab the cans up for a second time. Oops, got stuck on Alice's head there. There we go. Then we're gonna go grab these cans. You can either grab them now or grab them later. I just like to grab them now. You only have to grab 3 cans for this last area. However, I like to grab 4 just for safety because I have managed to miss it, and plus this is marathon, so we're gonna do that. So now we're going to go over here, and we're going to run into somebody that we haven't seen yet. Or shall we say we didn't, we just completely skipped in general. We are going to go down here and we are going to see our buddy, the projectionist. The projectionist, this time, we are able to just run past him because the ink that's down here doesn't allow for us to run slow. We're actually just able to run normally here. So if you run sharp corners here, you're actually able to trap him down the stairs and he won't join you up here. Well, that doesn't really matter because we make him disappear right here anyway. Alrighty. So we're gonna go down here. And we're going to go to the final boss. But I forgot to mention one thing. The projectionist is not done with us. He still wants us. So we're gonna enter this little miracle station. And all we can do is just wait for the projection to come after us. Until we have a little visit from Mr. Bendy himself. Alright, so now that Bendy is out of the way, we're going to, like I said, we are going to go to the breaker, and we are going to, we're going to go to the breaker, hit the switch, the breaker switch, and then we're going to open up the door and head on into the final boss. Now, if you haven't played this game before, you'll be surprised to see who this final boss is. But right here is just an auto-scroller cutscene that we actually cannot skip, so.
And pretend it's all just a bad dream.
This is a really good time for donations to be read.
It's a funny thing, how so much can fall apart so fast. We never really had control of the studio. Either you were in someone's pocket, or you were putting someone into yours. I just wanted what was promised to me. I just
Boris.
wanted to be beautiful.
Oh, it's just his doll.
Surely you can understand that.
Speaking of Boris,
Henry,
what happened to him?
why are you here?
We've gone through this whole entire place trying to find Boris, and we have yet to find him.
Do you just enjoy the terror of the drop into hell? Because if that's the case,
At least this is a nice little calming ride.
I've got a surprise.
I hope that ride didn't spook you too much, because we're going into an even spookier place. We're gonna try and see if we can grab this bacon soup. Ah, we got it. So this whole chapter we've been searching and searching and searching for one person and one person only. And that is the sad, sad Boris. But there's one problem with finding Boris. We didn't want to find him and see him looking like this.
Boris! Oh no, what has she done to you?
Alright, so let's get out of here. We're going to be running in a specific pattern right here. I always run in the exact same pattern so I know almost exactly where he's going to be every single time. So he's going to run at me here. And then he's going to run at me one more time over this way. So we're going to throw a can at him. Like I said, these cans are the strongest thing in the game. So now he's gonna do a jump attack at us. So now that we've done that, we're gonna get behind our couch of safety. This couch of safety really is nice because as long as we're hiding behind this, boars can actually not hit us with these. So he has to throw one more after this, and then we're done with the fight. There we go. And we have one more thing to do. Yeet! So we yeeted Boris to death, which is unfortunate. Because he was so nice to us. He helped us out. And then we had to kill him. With a can. We killed him with the one thing that we fed him in the game. She's dead. Who could have done such a thing? It's my girl. Good Alice. Alrighty. So now that we are done with that chapter, we start chapter 5 with a 5-minute unskippable cutscene, which is very, very unfortunate. So during this time, there can be a lot of donations read. And if this is chosen, I am going to be doing something funny during this time to fill up the gap. This is the best time to go pee if you need to go pee. It's a pee break time, or it's just to go grab some water, do whatever you need to fill this gap. So what I'm going to be doing, once the chapter starts up, I am going to take a break really quick. Make sure it starts up. And it takes forever. Come on. There we go. Okay, I'll be right back.
I know that song.
Everyone knows that song. Who are you? Why are you here?
I was invited by an old friend. And now I can't leave.
Then you know more than we do. 1 minute, we don't even exist. Just thoughts. And the next minute, this place.
Are you gonna let me out of here?
Down here, strangers aren't good things. How can we trust you? We don't even know what you are.
My name is Henry. I used to work here.
I honestly don't know my name. So, they call me Alice. But I'm no angel. You go back and rest. We'll talk again later. It's only for a few hours. No need to worry. I won't go far. Only up to level 6. Just stay here. Keep an eye on Henry, okay? I'll be back as soon as I can. I promise.
Alrighty. I am back.
Henry? Here. You must be hungry. Sorry. It's all we have.
Alright. So we're still not done with this cutscene, which I wasn't expecting to be done. So I just keep the headphones off at this point because I don't like listening to this cutscene.
I know you're watching me. It's just a little
This
creepy.
is all story
You're the one
related.
that writes on the walls.
So if you've never heard
We all
this game
do.
before,
For some poor souls down here, it's the only way they can be heard. But you don't want to touch the ink for too long. It can claim you, pull you back. That's how I met Tom. I was messing with things I shouldn't have been, and he was there.
Why do you
Oh,
call him
right.
Tom?
He just seems to respond to it.
Well, I don't think he's very fond of me.
Let me show you something. A while back, I was mapping out one of the upper levels when I noticed
That's awesome,
something
King.
reflecting off a piece of glass. I held up the glass, looked through, and on the wall behind me was a hidden message. Right there, in plain sight.
I have
So
to
I kept
still
looking and found more
upload
and
all
more
of mine, and I
messages
have to
everywhere in the studio.
next week I'm gonna finish
you
up
can't see them with
working
your
on all
eyes.
main levels,
Only through this.
or maybe
Take a
tomorrow
look.
night I'm gonna do all main levels.
don't
I
know
have
who's
only
leading
2
them,
more submissions that I
but
have
I
to
think
do
they know how to
for
get out of
SGDQ,
here.
Where does it all lead
and
to?
YGA is almost done too.
Nowhere.
I have to
I followed
put
them for a
on
long
a
time.
submission for
Just leads me in circles.
Viva
I
Pinata
don't think I
and
meant to leave this place, Henry.
all main levels, and then for YGA I
You
have
are.
Lego Harry Potter that I have to record.
Alice, please let me out of here.
But I'm finally
Tom
getting a
thinks you're
decent
dangerous.
run on
And
this,
what do you think?
so
I-
I'm gonna be happy
I
to
think
be.
You're the
Yeah,
hope
that's
I've
what I'm
been
gonna do
waiting
too.
for. Go to sleep. Maybe tomorrow will be better.
It's super fun, King. You should try. It's really, really fun. But I run on 1 through 7 collection,
really
so
stupid, Tom.
there's only one
You
skip
shouldn't
that
have gone
can't
out
be
there.
done on
Now
that
I've
one,
seen you,
and I also run on the Xbox, so the loading times are a
only
little bit slower.
matter of time before he finds us here.
Alright, so we only have one more blackout, and then to end this cutscene. So the seeing tool that we were given through in the middle of this cutscene, we're actually going to be using only once throughout this run, and you're actually, if I do it fast enough, you're actually not going to see it in my hands. So what you have to do is you have to use the seeing tool in this next area to try and find out what to hit in order to get out of this area. And you'll find that you have to actually touch the spoon in order to do it. And so if you just bring it out and then get rid of it again, you'll still be able to go to the spoon. You don't have to look at it. So what we're doing here is we're going to be destroying those, and we're going to leave. And we are going to find a way out of here. And conveniently, running past all of these guys, going down this hallway, there just conveniently happens to be a boat down at the end here. So we're going to launch that, then we're going to hit it again, and go in here and start up our boat. So what's going to happen up here is we're going to try for a skip. What's going to happen is a cutscene's going to go into play, but if you're fast enough, you get ink stuck in your boat, and if you're fast enough, you can get rid of those 3 ink blobs and start the boat up while the cutscene is happening, and in turn, saving a little bit of time. So here we are getting stuck.
Sounds like something stuck in the paddle wheel.
Oh, I was very close to getting it. If I hadn't have missed that at the on my second hit, I would have had it. But anyway, we are going to be stopped a total of 6 times throughout this area to get rid of those ink blots. They're in random areas, but what I usually do is I just turn and swing, and just happens to, usually manages to hit one. So this whole time we are being chased by that giant hand that you saw in that cutscene. So that was one. We're going to be stopped here for 2. We're heading over here to 3. Stop right around this corner. We're gonna, actually, it's only 5 times throughout this, but a total of 6 in general. Because we're gonna stop around here. And then we stop one more time coming up here around the corner. We're gonna stop right around here. And now we just continue on through this area. And if we look up to the left, you will see one of the guys fishing. He's just fishing. He won't come after us. He's just fishing. So we leave him alone, and he leaves us alone. Okay, so now that we're done with that area, we're going to go over here, and we're going to be doing a mini-boss fight. We've seen him once or twice throughout the run. You might know him as Sammy. We have to go all the way over here, and if I can get this, I wish I could get this trick. Nope, okay. So you can get up on top of that fence over there, and you can actually get Sammy to not be able to hit you. But if you get up onto this barrel as well, Sammy is not able to hurt you. He doesn't know what to do when you get up onto this. Now that he's done, we're gonna run over to here. And now that we're here, the cutscene is going to activate instantly.
You said I'd be free. Well, I'm going to free you now.
Uh-oh.
Free your head.
What's he gonna do?
Your shoulders.
Be quiet. Somebody's sneaking up behind him.
It's time for sleep.
Get him, Tom. Right in the head. So, now that we have that, we are going... Tom is going to help us out here, and he's going to give us that. And we are going into the next section. This next section is called the Forever Fight in the Community, because it takes so long. But it, you can speed it up a little bit if you manage to kill enough enemies before they get a chance to. Not sure how many we need to kill, but also in this area, this Forever Fight, Alice has the stupidest line in the entire game. I'll definitely point it out when it happens. What? Ah, that's one death. That's unfortunate. We're gonna continue on. Shut up, Alice. So there's the terrible line. Oh, I didn't see that other guy behind me. That's fine. So, I'm a little bit focused here because this forever fight can, really mess with you. So right here are the worst enemies in this fight. These are the... How did I get hit? Oh my gosh. This is a very bad forever fight for me. Shut up, Alice. Yes, you have.
Get away from me! We can do this. Keep fighting. Go back to your tunnel. I've never seen this many before.
Oh, somebody spawned at the last second there. I'm very close to finishing up this forever fight. I can tell you right now. There we go. I told you I only needed to destroy like one more enemy. Alright. So now we have to move out of the way to make sure that Alice opens this up for us.
Probably best if we stay
And we
together
want to
for a
destroy
while.
these two boards
Think you can lead the
and
way?
make sure that we don't step in before she finishes her dialogue. Otherwise, it will soft lock the game and we would have to do the forever fight over again. So right here, this area is a little bit messed up for the Xbox because on the PC, they put the graphics at the lowest graphics in the entire game, so you don't get hit as easily against the Butcher Gang. However, on here, you don't have a graphic settings that you can change on the Xbox, so you can get hit by the Butcher Gang easier than anything else here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go this way, and we only got hit once, which is good. We're gonna run into Striker here. Striker's gonna chase us all as well. We're gonna grab this and we're gonna run over here. So the two boys, Piper and Striker, will hit us and send us back. Now, we actually wanted to die here on purpose because what's going to happen here is it's going to, since we grabbed the ink and died, we still had it in our hand. There we go. We're going to do that 2 more times, but this time we're not going to go to the right, we're actually going to go to the left because the boys, Striker and Piper, are over there, and they're going to hit me, and that's where I'm screwed when I'm playing the Xbox, because they will hit me and kill me more times than I'm wanting to. So we'll just lure Fisher over here with for us, and he's gonna kill us. It only loses just a little bit of time. It's not that bad. Alright, Fisher. Need your help. So now we're going to go over here. We're going to put the... We're gonna... Wow, that pipe flying. We're gonna grab the pipe, put this in, turn that so we can grab the pipe, then we're going to run away. And this time we're gonna go to the right, because there is now nobody in our pathway. Everybody is gone, and we don't have to worry about it. So we're gonna run over this way. We're going to grab the ink, and then we're going to run this way, because I believe our friend Stryker is right around the corner over here. Yep, there he is. So now, we're done with that. We're going to drop this in, once again, and get the last pipe. As long as we don't get the glitch. There we go. We're gonna run over here. Grab our last pipe, and then we're gonna put it into the pipe grid over here. Now, there isn't really anything happening right here. This is a good time for donations to be read.
Looks like whatever was here was taken long ago.
How did you get down here?
It pays to carry a
I'm gonna do a swag strat and just stand on Tom's head for the second time.
I know where we have to go, but it's not going to be pleasant. The ink demon has something that we need. I'm going after him.
You want to go to his lair? Are you crazy? That's death.
That's where the trail seems to lead.
Well, it's
So
probably
what we're gonna
close
do is
by.
we're gonna stand right in front of this door,
Probably through that door.
because what's gonna happen is Tom is gonna run at this door
Here's a crowbar.
in order to
Some kind of counterbalance.
just get us through here instead of having to do another collecting
Well, that works
thing.
too.
We're gonna get through here quick, and then we're gonna look at the wall here, because
Quiet.
Bendy likes to lag up the Xbox when we're right here. And now we're gonna go through these doors, and we're gonna get another cutscene with Alice, but we're gonna listen to this one because she has the greatest line ever, in probably one of the greatest lines in any video game I've ever
Seen
heard.
this before. I don't see any way around. Nothing to build a raft with.
We'll have to wade across.
We can't. We're not like you, Henry. If we go in there,
Right here.
a drop of water in the ocean is rarely seen again.
I love that line so
I guess
much.
it's all up
It
to
could be
me.
a tattoo,
I
for
don't even know what I'm doing
anything.
here.
It's so good.
I don't even know why this is all happening to me.
You're here for a reason, Henry. There's always a reason. Even when you can't understand it. It's time.
Watch Alice's head when she's
Set
done
us
talking.
free.
It freaks out like crazy. Spins around. I love this line too.
They could have at least given me a weapon.
Alright, after all of this, we have to go in and we have to fight the final boss, and if you've been paying attention, you can probably kind of tell who the final boss of this game is. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't figured it out yet, but let's just say this final boss is a little bit different than you're expecting. We're not going to be hurting him in the way that you think.
It's simply awe-inspiring what one can accomplish with their own hands. A lump of clay can turn to meaning if you strangle it with enough enthusiasm. Look what we've built. We created life itself, Henry. Not just on a silver screen, but in the hearts of those we entertain with our fancy moving pictures. But when the tickets stopped selling, when the next big thing came along, only the monsters remain. Shadows of the past. But you can save them, Henry. You can peel it all away. You see, there's only one thing Bendy has never known.
So,
He was there for his beginning.
our final boss just happens to be the one and only person that's been following us this entire time. Bendy. But we're not just going to be facing him like this. No, we're going to be facing him in his workout phase. And the thing is, he's only worked out his arms. He skipped leg day every single day. And he has a bigger head. So what's going to happen here is Bendy is going to hit us into the next room. And what you have to do is you have to hit 5 switches. All these switches are going to be in the same area, and if you go fast enough, Bendy always goes in the same order here. So as long as you... Oh, okay, that sucks. I should have just waited. Where am I? Here we go. We're gonna get the last one right there. So, even though I died, at least I knew where all the switches were. So now we are going on to the second phase of this fight against Bendy. We are going to be making him destroy these four ink patterns here. We're going to go out wide, so he comes and destroys that. We're going to go wide, then go in. Hopefully he attacks that. Then we're going to go wide again. Hopefully he attacks that. And then we're going to go wide one more time. And hopefully he attacks this. Perfect. There's the door. Alrighty. So that is the end of this Bendy fight. I just messed up a little bit, but that's not too bad. So, how do we actually kill Bendy? There's only one way to kill Bendy. We have to actually force him to watch the end. The end. And then he gets hurt. And he completely disintegrates under seeing the end. Now our timing is not actually right here. Our timing will be coming up after we talk to somebody right here. There's gonna be a cutscene that we can't skip. Alrighty. We're gonna go over here and we are gonna talk to the one and only Walt Disney. Oh, sorry, Joey Drew.
So soon. I didn't expect you for another hour yet. Now you're just trying to impress me. But I know.
So the timing will come up after he puts me into the next room and the screen goes black.
The question is this. Who are we, Henry? I thought I knew who I was. But the success starved me. Nothing left but lines on a page. In the end, we followed 2 different roads of our own making. You,
Lovely family. Me,
me,
a crooked empire.
And my road burned. I let our creations become my life. The truth is, you were always so good at pushing, old friend. Pushing me to do the
So
right
timing is
thing.
coming up very shortly here.
You should have pushed
Little
a
harder.
Henry, come visit the old workshop. There's something I need to show you.
So we go through the door and oh wait. This kind of looks familiar, doesn't it?
All right, Joey. I'm here. Let's see if we can find what you wanted me to see.
And time. So that was Bendy and the Ink Machine. When we're playing normally, our timing is done with in-game time. But since this is a marathon, we're gonna be filming, or we're gonna be timing with real time. I hope I really showed you the enjoyment of this game, and I hope that it's chosen for the event. So I'm gonna keep the credits up. We're gonna watch the credits and see what my in-game time is in the end. The music is a real banger at the very end here.
Tell me another one, Uncle Joey.
Alright, let's see what our in-game time is. Our in-game time is a 1:30:32. But, anyway, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And, I hope this is chosen.